Hello, and welcome back to Fiance Farm. We took a little bit of a break since our last episode, just for some dinner. So again, just to reiterate, this is, there's probably been 4 or 5 episodes, but for Arla and I, it's the same day. So that's why the topic of conversation is a little bit, I guess, in the same theme. Our progress obviously is been quite quick because we've just kept playing all throughout the day. As I said, we stopped for some dinner, and then by the time we had dinner, Orla thought we wouldn't have time to continue because Orla has college. She does college from home, and there just wasn't enough time to get another episode in. Orla checked her calendar, and Lord and behold, she had some good news. She didn't actually have college tonight, so we are delighted that we can keep going. We're on a good stream here.
I am. Oh man, I love college, right? Don't get me wrong, and I talked about it last time we were speaking of this. But oh my god, when you're just like not in the mood for something and it's just like playing on you. I kind of wish I'd found out that I didn't have college earlier today, but I'm just so glad that it's like I can continue with this because I have just been getting into it properly now. So yeah, I just want to keep going with it.
Yeah, for sure. And at the end of the last episode as well, we said we would pause the conversation and continue. But kind of since having dinner and stuff like that, we've kind of broken our own flow a little bit. And we were kind of, I think it was all good, and like the discussions we were having were good, and I enjoyed them. But we were kind of repeating ourselves a little bit as well. So just I suppose from the last episode where we finished off, what I was gonna say, we were talking about cancel culture, and I suppose we were kind of, between myself and Orla, we were kind of doing the pros and cons of cancel culture and why it's good and why it's bad, and what are the kind of flaws to cancel culture where, someone who made a small mistake 10 years ago still gets penalized today. They get cancelled on social media. And the example I used when I was chatting to Orla offline was James Gunn. I think he made a joke on Twitter, I guess, a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2014, 2015. And there's a book missing. Yeah, but there's a book right here. Okay, I'll leave
just maybe before you get in,
there's a book here that I can't click, but anyway, we'll keep going.
Before you get into that, James, I just want to say as well, and I think this is just, coming from a woman who has obviously, being a woman, I think a lot of women will understand that being told that it's just a joke and it's like a gender-based joke, or
sure,
it's like, yeah, I get it, it's just a joke and I'm not trying to be a sourpuss or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like, jokes sometimes can be inappropriate, and if you have to make those kind of jokes to try to be funny, then you're just not funny. So it's not like we're condemning this joke that James Gunn made. I just do think that, again, 10, 20 years ago, people didn't have the common sense or maybe the education to know that making jokes isn't always appropriate, and just because something's funny doesn't mean that you should do it. And just before kind of going into what you
absolutely
the defense of James Gunn.
No, absolutely. And I wouldn't say it's a defense as such. It's more just completely agree with everything that you said. Like, comedians are a really good example where they're like, it's just a joke. It's like, yeah, but if your comedy has to be at the expense of someone else, and I'm talking like racial stuff or sexist stuff or ageist or whatever, if you can't be funny without being harmful, then maybe you're not that funny. So that is 100% a valid point, Orla. I'm just saying, like, for someone that does make a joke in poor taste, or at the time it was acceptable, that's a huge thing as well. Like, in different decades in the last 100 years, like, different things have been acceptable. Again, I'm not condoning them. I'm not saying this was right and that's wrong. I'm just using it as an example. Like, if James Gunn made that joke, I don't think it was a good joke, but his career is ruined, like his career is over, then maybe that's a little bit harsh, you know, like the man shouldn't have his career ended over a small joke. Your career should be ended if you're, you know, an abuser, you know, stuff like that. So there's a real grey area with cancel culture.
I just wanted to
no, of
state
course.
that because I didn't want you to just brush it off, because
No,
an anti-Semitic joke is an anti-Semitic joke, and that's inappropriate. But and I was just thinking as you were talking there, like if you made an inappropriate joke at work as a normal person, you'd probably just get written up, or you might get a verbal warning first, and then if it continues, then you get written up, and then eventually you get fired. Like, I feel like cancel culture doesn't allow that space in professionalism, and at the end of the day, like, these people aren't gods, like they aren't like all-knowing, and as much as they are rich and famous, yeah, they should be more educated on things because they have the money and the time to be more educated on things, but we forget that they are human, and I think all humans should be given the same amount of fairness of having time to understand, apologize, and learn from their mistakes, because every human makes mistakes. So I just wanted to kind of
No, absolutely. And that's really, like, to kind of finish up on this topic, that's really what I wanted to say at the end of the last episode, is with cancel culture, you know, like you said with the example of HR, you get written up once for making an inappropriate joke in the canteen. Someone, probably rightfully, reports you, and, you know, you're reprimanded for it. With cancel culture and these people, you know, with like mass followings, it's different, right? Because a lot of, especially like influencers, like their means of income is their following, it's their fan base. And if they get cancelled for something minor, their fan base is impacted, right? A lot of people might unfollow them, you know, they might start boycotting their brands, all this kind of thing. And sometimes that's not a good thing, is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes that's excessive. There are instances where people should be cancelled and they should lose their brand deals and they should lose their following. And as I was saying, like, that's the grey area, right? That's the grey area of cancel culture, where the two people that we mentioned in a previous episode, I don't want to name them by name. One is misogynist.
Person, the other is a horrible person.
Yes, exactly. They're both not very nice, and it's not because of their political views. It's not because I think one way and they think another. These people have been accused and proven to be guilty of horrific shit, as well as being influencers online. And where cancel culture is good is when these people are indeed cancelled. So this person, who I don't want to name by name, because frankly I don't even like thinking about this person, right? But anyway, this guy should be cancelled so that we can stop his influence, because he is negatively influencing people. That's the kind of gist of it, is this guy is influencing young men to think a certain way about women, and that's very harmful. And this guy, he essentially shouldn't be allowed to do that. And you might, you know, if you're kind of on the fence about this kind of thing, you might cry, you know, freedom of speech, whatever. Yeah, like, I get what you're saying, but this guy is one voice, and he's influencing the voice of thousands, if tens of thousands, hundreds, I don't know how big his following is. So when he has that much kind of sway over people, you know, he kind of should be, like, cancelled, you know. And again,
yeah, and my problem with this kind of stuff as well is that a lot of the stuff that is being pushed by people like him is very, very uneducated. Like, he's not looking up correct things. He's just pushing what people want to hear, and at the bottom line, he's not doing it to improve on freedom of speech or anything like that. He's doing it to make money, and I think that's at the bottom
the other
line
side of it.
Yeah,
absolutely. That is the other side of it. Is, like, ideally, I would like to do this. Like, as in, I would like to do YouTube to make money, like, you know, but I'm not really entertaining that idea because I'm so early on in the channel and stuff, and primarily I do it for the joy of it. You know, I like doing it just to say I do it. I'm not doing it to get money out of it. And in the process of doing it, this channel, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to, have a good neutral voice where I can, and then, a positive voice where neutrality isn't an option, right? So if there's an injustice in the world, being neutral isn't good enough, right? So I feel this person is the other way. It's almost like an inverse of that, is he's actively being negative because he knows it sells. He's not being negative, and when I say negative, I don't mean like unhappy. I mean like he's being harmful. Do you know what I mean? He's not doing it because it's
a group of people.
Yeah, he's not doing it because that's what he strongly, firmly believes in, and he's standing by his values. He's doing it because he knows it sells. Because there's a lot of young men out there who are lonely and angry and, I guess, lost in the world, and they're clinging onto this voice of quote-unquote reason. Do you know what I mean? Your life is terrible because of women, not your life is terrible because of you. Which message, if you hate your life, which message would you rather hear? Your life is terrible because of someone else, or your life is terrible because of you? And a lot of people take the other option, is my life is terrible because of this group of people, my life is terrible because of that group of people. And it's much easier.
Men especially have been pushed to think that, whereas women, it's always like pushed on women that they need to change and adapt to have a better life and be a better person. For men, it's always like blame the people around you, and that comes from like what social pressures do parents put on their children. Like a mother with their son, a lot of the time, I'm not saying every mother-son relationship, but a lot of mothers will turn around and see their son above other children or other like people, and be like, oh, my Johnny would never do that, and oh, if something's gone wrong, surely it's someone else's fault. Whereas women then have the opposite effect with their mother, and it can sometimes be like, well, maybe you need to change this. And that's just not, I'm not speaking for every mother, I'm not saying that, and I don't like the I suppose the idea that it's all women's fault either. It's not, but it's just an example of what society pressures. Though. Yeah, that is the narrative, and it's not pushed by women. It's not just mothers that do this. It's pushed by what rules are allowed to be broken for men and women, what is socially acceptable for men and women. And I suppose in that like kind of same circle, what happens is that men will push towards blaming others, and women will push towards blaming themselves. Not that happens all the time. There are women that will blame others, and there are men that will blame themselves. I'm not speaking for all of them, but yeah, that's just generally what can happen. Like.
Yeah, and I want to be really kind of cautious here as well. Like, we're not trying to demonize men. Like, in being a feminist, it doesn't mean that you hate men. Like, that's I want to make, because sometimes it kind of comes across that way. Like the last couple episodes, we have been shitting on men a little bit, but we're talking about.
Think we have. I think. Well, I genuinely don't think we've put men down. I think that we've talked about improvements that you've viewed on, like your changes and stuff like that, and we've talked about how people are like viewing things like to do with immigrants and women and different things like that. True. We never actually stated that it was men that were doing that. We just said people in this country. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't make the assumption.
But just to call it out though, like we are not demonizing men. We're not saying that any problem that a woman has is caused by a man, and men need to fix that. I'm not saying that. Men have a lot to do. Like, men could do a lot more for their fellow person. I haven't said it in a while, but on this channel, I try and finish every video with, like, spread love, spread kindness, like, look after your fellow person. And I think men, as a group of people across different societies and cultures, could do more to help, others, basically. But that's not saying every problem in the world is caused by men and men need to go. Because that's what isolates people. That's where the rise, where does get his following? Where does get his following? It's from men who feel scorned. And I think some of them need to feel scorned. Like, there's a lot of creepy fuckers out there, and they should feel like bad about their actions, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but like it's a very kind of slippery slope where it's very easy to point the finger. Similarly, I suppose, to how some people paint immigrants as the enemy. You know, it's this group of people or it's that group of people, or you know, if we didn't have immigrants coming into the country, like Ireland would be better. You know, there's a lot of that going around at the moment, in Ireland, and the world. But you know, I can only speak for Ireland, and it's very easy to do it the other way. You know, where basically Orla and I are talking about feminist issues, and we're pointing the finger saying it's men. We're not intentionally doing that. If that's the way it's coming across, we're not intentionally doing that. What we're trying to say is these guys who haven't been cancelled in the traditional sense still negatively influence people. And that's where cancel culture is good. And I think maybe on that, Orla, we should try and change the subject, because we've been talking about it for a while. I know it's a new episode, but we touched on it in episode 5. We talked about basically the whole of episode 6, and now we're talking about it again in episode 7. So
Yeah.
it's important stuff to talk about, don't get me wrong. I'm not brushing it under the rug, being like, oh god, you know, like, this is boring. But, you know.
No, it's tiring to talk about it as well.
Exactly,
What's going on.
Yeah,
like, it's not a necessarily nice topic. It's important to speak about, but we also, it's important for us to speak about nice things too. Which brings me to what I want to bring up is I am so excited for the Haunted Chocolatier. I wasn't really that pumped for it. I hadn't really thought about it, and then I watched somebody that had like early access gameplay, and it looks so good. Like, it just looks so good, and it's actually, I think you're gonna like it. It's more combat based than what Stardew Valley is, and but it has all the similar like things to it. So like, obviously, like a secret plot, like other than just being a chocolatier. That's obvious. This is what Stardew's about. And you still have like your relationships and you have different things like that, but it is it's more combat based. So obviously if it's haunted, I'm imagining it has something to do with ghosts. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being in the hype when the current game is coming out. Like, I feel like Stardew, I wasn't there when I wasn't playing this when this first came out. So I'm gonna enjoy like being. I like that. I read a lot of books, and I like when I'm reading it at the time that it comes out, and there's just so much stuff online about it, and it's just like really builds the excitement. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Haunted Chocolatier, and I think that like Concerned Apes, isn't it?
Yep, Concerned Ape. Yep.
Concerned Ape is like is just amazing, and he's just created a really good game, and I feel like he's gonna do it again. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's co-op when it comes out. So like, I think it should be, yeah. Because I don't know if Stardew was mines. I don't know if I'm just trying to get clay, love. I'm not actually like in the mines. I'm just. We need clay to build a silo. So I need one more clay, and then I can do what I need to do. Like,
I'm just a bit bored. That's all.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on what you're saying.
Yeah, just I don't know if Stardew was co-op on release. It would be nice to like experience that the first time together, and like figure it out together.
And have a game that like coming into this, I feel like this series is gonna really take off when we actually get to the challenging stuff. Whereas like the first few episodes of this, I feel like not that it's boring, but like we know what we're doing, so it's not like a series you watch on YouTube where like the YouTubers are actually figuring out stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like even some of the gameplay just now, like it's you're waiting for a certain time. So like, you know, when we have animals, you burn up a lot of time in the morning, so all the shops are open by the time you've sorted the animals. Whereas like at the moment, I'm like waiting outside the museum for the doors to open. Do you know what I'm saying?
I got some clay, by the way.
Nice. Did you get it through worms, is it?
No, if you dig the dirt, like after every like 5 or 6, it'll come up.
In the farm, like?
Yeah, that's what I told you. As long as there's dirt and you're digging with a hoe, it'll come up.
Yeah, I went to the mines because.
Yeah, I'm just after getting 2 pieces just out of like 2 seconds there.
Grand. 5 iron bars. I think it's stone. I don't think I have enough stone. Looking at this now. But I probably won't make it to Robin's anyway. I should have gone north and around rather than this way.
Did you only need one more piece?
Yeah. Oh, please make it. I think she finishes at 4 p.m.
Did you see that dance is on?
Oh, yeah. What time does it start at?
I can't remember. It just came up that it was on in the forest.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Do you want to? Yeah, because I was going to go do the geodes and then the
place is shut. So. That's why the museum was shut as well. Okay, let's go. So I think before we do, I need to ask you to the dance. If we want to go together.
Yes, please.
Okay. So do you know where it is?
It's down in the forest, apparently.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of the map. There's like a bridge that's closed. It's usually closed, but for today it's open. Oh, it's probably over. Look, Mayor Lewis is on his way back.
Aww.
Oh well.
Just go and check just in case.
I think it's 2 till 4. I didn't even see it come up in the bottom left.
Yeah, it came up in the bottom left. I don't know why I had in my head that it was this evening it was on. I'm sorry, I should have said something. It's just that we were talking.
Yeah, sorry.
I got a new achievement, actually. I unlocked like 2 new achievements that I haven't gotten on Stardew before.
The bridge is shut. I think we missed it. Yeah.
Oh.
We can just do a dance here together. Like swans.
Wow.
I don't think it doesn't negatively impact us too much, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just nice to do. I like it when you ask me.
Yeah, I know.
That's one of our goals this game as well, is to get married. I don't know if we said that earlier on, but
yeah. Yeah, I think out of all the times we've played this, I think we've only managed to get married once, because you need I think it's a prismatic shard.
Yeah. We get one, there's a part of the game where we get one as a gift, and we just need to make sure not to sell it or donate it.
Yeah.
I'll give you the clay once.
There's more geodes in here, by the way.
Okay,
There's 2 more. Do you want to just sleep now so I can go to Robin tomorrow? Just save time.
I'll put the clay in the chest for you as well.
Sure. It's kind of a waste of a day, but...
Oh well. I'm really looking forward to Halloween this year. We're doing something new. I know we talked about Halloween in a previous episode, but we are... I really wanted to push for it to be more of a memorial night, because obviously Samhain, which is what Halloween is comes from. Samhain was like an end of year feast. Oh yeah, 500 G's, great. Samhain was a end of year feast, so the pagans / Celts believed that Halloween night was the end of the year, and that they would start the new year then afterwards. So they would have a big feast, and they would share it with the spirits that crossed over when the veil was thin, because we're coming into winter, so it's coming into the dark part of the year essentially. And I obviously, traditionally what people do in the modern world is go trick-or-treating, or they go to a house party and they get drunk, and like we are kind of gone past that like night out kind of house party Halloween stuff. I feel like when we get our house, I will definitely start hosting an annual Halloween party. I'll be the host, but right now a lot of our friends either don't have houses or they're moving into houses, so we don't really have anyone that's hosting it at our age, like mid to late 20s. So that's what my role I feel like is going to be at Halloween eventually. But for now, I wanted to start marking it again, because I love autumn and I love Halloween, but there isn't really anything we can do. Obviously, we don't have kids, so we don't go trick-or-treating. We don't like go out really in terms of like for Halloween. So I decided to like look more into Samhain and what we should be doing, and I've obviously found that like I kind of knew that there would be a feast, because that's generally what pagans did, or Celts did, or anyone back then really. It doesn't matter what religion you were. That's what they did at times like that, is that they ate, they celebrated and ate. And so I have put together with James. Basically, we sat down and we created and curtailed a menu as to what to eat for Halloween, and we made it specific to the time of year it was, what would have been eaten back then, and so on and so forth. So we curtailed that menu yesterday. I'm really, really looking forward to it. We obviously are aware that Christmas is on the horizon, so you don't want to be eating everything that you're going to be eating at Christmas and kind of ruin that, the looking forward to the Christmas food, because Christmas is obviously a big thing in my family as well, especially the dinner. My family do a really, really good Christmas dinner.
It's excellent.
Yeah, I have outside people saying it's good, so you know it's good. Anyways, so I wanted to mark Halloween that way for us, and I hit my menu when I'm being attacked by a fly. So yeah, we have gone with obviously the big thing is like root vegetables. Obviously, for any of people who are, like, if you're American listening, it might be a shock to you, but when Halloween originated in Ireland and pumpkins are not found naturally in Ireland, or they wouldn't have existed in Ireland back hundreds of years ago. So what a jack-o'-lantern originally was used with a turnip. Root vegetables are obviously what are in season. We just didn't have pumpkins. Pumpkins come from America. So pumpkins became the jack-o'-lantern, what they're used to keep spirits away at night of Halloween. Originally it was turnips. So we are actually going to cook up some turnips. They are horrible to carve. They are super, super hard. So I can see why it transitioned to pumpkins. Pumpkins, as much as pumpkin may be difficult sometimes, a turnip is always difficult to carve.
It's not hollow like a pumpkin. You know, like a pumpkin has the seeds. A turnip is pretty much solid through. It has a core, doesn't it? Basically, like, so. I
don't think it has a core, but it's like harder than a potato. So yeah. So we will be cooking turnips. Samhain also existed in Scotland. They were both obviously Celtic countries. So I wanted to kind of make a nod because I'm vegetarian as well. I find in the last few months, vegetarian / vegan options in shops has gone really poorly, and I've seen online that a lot of people are saying the same thing. So what I would have usually gone for is maybe like a corn chicken roast, because they say to have like a roast meat for Samhain. I would have gone for my vegetarian roast chicken. Not an option, unfortunately. It'll probably come back in close to Christmas, but not an option for Halloween, unfortunately, this year. So I decided to kind of tie into the Scottish roots, and obviously James is Scottish as well. I'm going to make vegetarian haggis as my main meat. We've made it before. My cousin actually has a recipe book that does like vegan British foods.
Mm-hmm.
So we're using that recipe again. I quite like vegetarian haggis. You can get it in Scotland, like pre-made. You don't actually have to cook it, and it's one of my favorite things about going to Scotland is getting to have it. So that's going to be my main dinner.
Like I try to limit the amount of meat I eat. Maybe not so much now. I kind of flip-flop, but where I can, I eat vegetarian food with Orla, and you know, so I can say which I prefer. You know, both sides. And honestly, I've had real haggis or meat-based haggis. You know, growing up all throughout my years as a kid. I've had vegetarian haggis. I think for the first time was our road trip Orla last year. And I think I prefer the vegetarian haggis. Just because it has
it's more like
a nicer texture.
A nut roast almost, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Nice.
Like haggis, I like haggis anyway, you know. So it's not like normal haggis is minging and I like the vegetarian. I like both, but I find normal haggis is like kind of stodgy, almost like I wouldn't call it a pate either. But it's more stodgy and kind of clumps together, almost like porridge, like bad porridge. I'm not really selling haggis, am I, Orla? But
no, haggis is really good. Like I really love the vegetarian haggis.
It's delicious, but the vegetarian haggis is like crumbly, because of the nuts and the kind of oats that are put through it. It just crumbles a different way to normal haggis, and I really, really enjoy the consistency. Like it's delicious. Like if I had the option, I would have both on my plate. So like when we were visiting my family in Scotland, They had normal haggis and they made vegetarian haggis for Orla. I had both. Like that's the best case scenario for me. If I had to choose, I would probably go with the vegetarian one, um, just because I like it more. But normal haggis is delicious. Like don't get me wrong, I like normal haggis as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of nodding to that kind of like cultural thing as well, where Scottish Celts had Samhain as well, or their version of Samhain. Then so we're going with root vegetables. So we might do like a version of neeps, which is you have neeps and tatties with haggis, which is just turnips. So we'll be making that, and then I love carrots and parsnips. I love roasted carrots and parsnips. They are my absolute favorite. So I'll be making those for more root vegetables. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head what else we said we do. Oh, potato gratin again, potato root vegetable, but something delicious, gravy, stuff like that. So we're really focusing on, and then I'm adding nuts to the haggis as well. It doesn't actually have nuts in it. It just tastes quite nutty itself. But I am adding chestnuts into it because they would have had, let's say, when researching it, it's like roasted meats, root vegetables, roasted nuts, and yeah, that's kind of what we're going for. So we're going for that for our mains, and James is going to have roast chicken. He of course can have some haggis as well. But oh, you should do haggis stuffed chicken.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
it's a really good idea.
So yeah, so we have that plan, and then we're doing a starters and a dessert as well. So starters, we're doing like a cherry goat cheese like tart little thing, and then or puff pastry really. And then our mains or dessert, sorry, is pumpkin pie. I do like pumpkin pie, and I'll be making that as well. I'll probably make it tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 30th, let's say. I'll make it tomorrow to prep for Halloween. So we're doing that. I have like decorations for the table. We got our, like I said, we got our napkins. We got, or I didn't say that. We got actual. There was like a sale on in Pennies or Primark, wherever you call it, and they had reduced section of Halloween stuff. So I got some autumnal napkins and little pumpkin napkin holders, and we got a little like autumn leaf gravy boat. So really going, not all out. I'm not spending a ton of money on this, but putting effort into it and like being mindful of what we're eating and what we're doing that night. And I'm going to put aside a little plate because the whole thing is that you're supposed to eat with the spirits that cross over. So I'm going to put together a little plate of little bits from our dinner. So like chicken, some veg, some haggis, and then I'm going to add some cat nuts to it, and I'm going to add some dog nuts to it and put it outside. I'm very fortunate, a very, very fortunate person to be able to say that all the losses that I have experienced thus far in my life have been pet losses out of my immediate family, let's say, and let's say even grandparents and stuff like that. I've been so lucky. And sorry, I'm just reading something here. I don't know if I necessarily believe in it. I just want to honor the old tradition, and if my cats and dogs spirits return on Halloween night, I do want there to be a bit of food. And what's the worst case scenario? Some foxes or hedgehogs or badgers or stray cats, they eat this food, so be it. But I think it's a nice nod to a very, very old tradition of my country, and something that isn't practiced anymore because people have pushed towards trick-or-treating and going out and getting drunk, and that's okay. But I'm gonna prepare that little plate and put it out, and hopefully, like my lovely cats and dogs, if they are out there, they might come back. If not, I'm feeding something that's alive. So yeah, that's what our plan is. We are going to dress up as well. I'm going to go as Granny the Whale or Grayson Valley, the Pirate Queen. Feel like it's important to go as something dead or spiritual, because that's the whole point, is that you're something to let spirits think that you're dead. That's the whole point of dressing up at Halloween. So Grace O'Malley is dead, so I will go as Grace O'Malley. I'm Ginger, she is Ginger. I'm even going to do tan because she's supposed to be a pirate, or she is a pirate, or was a pirate, so she's going to have weathered skin and stuff like that. And I had gone as a pirate before, so I have elements of that costume. So I'm going to dress up, even though it's just me and James having a Halloween sit-down dinner. But I'm excited. I feel like we haven't done something like this for Halloween ever, and it's like Christmas. Like Christmas is just our immediate family. We sit down, we cook a really fancy meal, and my family, we're the family that like dress up and like have our makeup on and stuff like that when we sit down for Christmas. So why not do it for one of my favorite holidays? So yeah, I just wanted to talk about what our plans are for Halloween this year, and I'm really, really excited. Like I'm doing all my prep work tomorrow. Like I'm gonna Hope I have hair products that are coming so I can freshen up my hair dye and stuff like that. I'm gonna hopefully do that tomorrow. Do my tan, cook pumpkin pie. I'm gonna cook maybe the haggis as well tomorrow, and maybe
Yeah.
go to the shops to see if there's anything else I need. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, I'm excited too. It's interesting. Like Orla's mum brought home a book the other day. I don't know, did she get it in work or did she buy it, Orla? But it's a book about.
No, it's just borrowed from
Fae-
work. Yeah.
It's borrowed, okay. It's a book about Fae legends. So you've got stuff like just the Fae themselves. Like fairies. Technically, it includes leprechauns. In a way, I guess. But the Fae are like, you know, the little people of Ireland. And there's loads of different stories. So like the one I read the other day was King of the Cats, which was quite cool. There's also like the fairy dog, which is what you were talking about, Orla, before. Is it, how do you say it? The Kulanashi?
Kulanashi, yeah.
Kulanashi, which is basically like the fairy dog. I didn't read that story in particular, but there's loads of stories anyway, surrounding Irish folklore and the Fae people and stuff. But while I'm being attacked, I'll try talk over the game volume.
Are you in the mines?
Yes.
What level are you on?
18. So I'm gonna try get to 20,
Okay.
and then you can try join me if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
What can I drop?
Sorry, go ahead.
Probably drop this. There's in this book anyway. I must get the name for it, and I might put it on screen just so you guys can see what it is, and maybe buy it or have a wee look. Because it's
I
a
think
lovely.
I'd like to buy it.
Yeah, it's like the artwork is really pretty, and it's really easy just to pick up and read a couple pages, like. But the main, like in the foreword, the main takeaway basically is like the Fae are to be respected. Do you believe in it? Not necessarily. Like, it's just nice to kind of commemorate the old traditions or whatever.
I will say that a lot of people in Ireland, I have the letter over here, they are still quite superstitious. So even people who don't believe in that, they won't. A lot of people still won't walk through fairy rings, or they won't build upon fairy rings. Fairy trees, they won't knock. Yeah. So like that stuff still exists, which is very impressive, I think. That's
what it says in the book, is that planning permission. So in Ireland, sometimes you need planning permission to build a house or develop property. Sometimes there have been instances where planning permission has been rejected because it requires you to cut down a fairy tree. I don't actually know the official definition of a fairy tree, but they are in Ireland, and like they're considered kind of like holy trees, basically, like these mythological trees. Planning permission has been rejected because the local council or like members of the public have feared upsetting the Fae. Like, we don't want to upset the little people and bring, you know, tragedy upon ourselves, basically. It's a bad omen to cut down a fairy tree, or it's a bad omen to build on fairy land. And what I've been trying to say, I suppose, for the last few minutes is the main takeaway from this book is that you don't upset the Fae, and the way you do that is by being a decent person. So like, all these different mythological stories, it basically entail not hurting animals. Like, don't hurt animals, respect nature, and be kind to your fellow person. Like, anyone in these Fae stories that gets punished by the Fae, or like the Fae might play a prank on them, it's usually because they're greedy or selfish or cruel, and then the Fae come back and, you know, pay that treatment forward onto the person. And I think it's just funny, like, that at the end of it all, whether you believe or don't believe in the Fae, you know,
James, I have the ladder.
Okay, I'm on my way. Whether you do or don't believe, you know, it's a little bit far-fetched, you know. If you don't believe in magic, it's hard to kind of wrap your head around this kind of thing. Like, it's so ridiculous, you know, if you don't buy into it. But like, the main story is just respect nature. and don't be cruel. And like that's as simple as it gets, you know. It's just funny to me. Um, these ancient guidelines, basically.
Yeah, and they still like amount to things. Like I said, like a lot of Irish people, as much as they are like, it's obviously not great to be superstitious all the time, but like it's still it makes me really proud because very easily as sometimes I feel like Christianity has taken over this like culture, and it did wash out what like pagan Ireland was, and I like often find myself thinking what our country could have been if we hadn't been taken over and colonized and like forced to forget this religion. Or I don't like calling it a religion, but you know what I mean. um so it's really crap to think about that, because obviously that's not a great way to think. Like, we have, this is our life now, this is our reality. But it's just, it's like a little win when you see, not that I agree with people being anxious and worrying about like being respectful to the Fae, because it stresses them out and they're worried that something bad will happen to them. I'm not saying that at all, but like it's like a little win to say that like the art of storytelling, the art of like respect for what, and it's not like these, like the Fae and these beliefs were how they taught the world worked. Like they taught the sun shone,
mm,
or the rain came, or like their crops grew, because they were respectful to these things. That's just how they thought their belief system worked. And it's just nice that even though were colonized and like occupied for 800 years, and religion was pushed onto us, like a foreign religion was pushed onto us, and that is what we are now. And even though I'm speaking English, that like if I mention fairy forts or fairy tree to like other Irish people, they will know what that means, and they will also, majority of the time, know not to mess with it and show respect to it. It's just like a little win. It's just really nice. So yeah, it's just, yeah.
mm. I
Clearly I'm very passionate about this.
yeah. I had a thought as you were talking there, and I've lost it. That's why there was a pause
I'm so
there.
sorry.
I wasn't. I
Sorry.
wasn't. No, no, not you. I was. You said something, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes me think of this," and then I've lost it. Just like that's you finished talking, and I was like, "Right, make your point, James," and then it's just completely just disappeared out of my head.
Sorry, I
Um,
do. I do want to apologize for overlapping you a lot. It's just obviously
no,
I'm
no,
very passionate about this
no,
stuff.
not at
So
all. No, not at all. Um, it's it's like free flowing. That's what this series is, I guess. Is the nature of this game kind of requires you just to let it flow, you know? Like it's hard to talk about one thing at once, and they absolutely, like, you're free to speak about whatever you want, man. Don't worry about it.
no, I know, but I know
Um
you'll be talking about something. I don't want people to think that I interrupt James all the time. It's just
no, no.
like it's. I don't know if it's because I have autism, but it's like when I hear him say something and I have more information or a fact or something to back up what he's saying, I'm like, I need to say it now or it won't be brought up.
I'll put it on the screen. Do you know the memes where it's like when I overhear someone talk about something I'm disgustingly educated in? Like that's like me in
Yeah.
work. Like one of the lads in work mentioned something. Um, it wasn't Formula One, right? But just for example, let's just say it was. You know, at the other end of the canteen table, they're talking about Formula One, and I'm like, oh yeah, like completely cut across everyone. I'm like, oh yeah, and like I seen at the weekend this happened. It's just like this desire, like to jump in and just like nail this topic of conversation.
James, can
Um,
I just pause you for a second?
yeah.
Casper fell asleep with his head up. He
Well,
was sitting on the bed
it's.
and
I'll
his
stop you
eyes
there.
rolled.
I'll stop you there, right? It's the end of this episode. We're 40 minutes in. It's the end of this day. And we'll pause it here so I can come and see his face.
No, it's he
Um,
woke up, but he fell
oh,
asleep with his head up and his eyes rolled into the back of his head. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
god.
yeah. But, yeah. We'll pause it here, folks, just to make it easier for me to record. It's nice to end on a day like this. Again, we're recording these in series, so any of your feedback for episode 5 I won't see that until after this recording, unfortunately. So if there's something that you want to say or whatever, we will get to it. It's just that, Orla and I have recorded, 4 or 5 episodes in one day. So
Yeah.
please bear with us. If there is
If you
feedback,
want to comment down below
yeah.
what you're doing for Halloween or what you've done
Oh
for
yeah,
Halloween
that
and
too.
what you dressed up as, it'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool. Or what you are,
yeah,
just depending on how fast James can get these out.
yeah. I'm back to work tomorrow, so I think it's going to be a fairly busy 2 days, Thursday and
Yeah.
Friday for me. But then it's the weekend, so I'll try to get these edited and uploaded. Saturday evening, Sunday morning. We'll see.
Yeah,
But
but
anyway,
by
for
then
for
it's
now,
Mariah Carey time.
yeah, that's also true. Yeah. I forgot about that. Right, we'll leave it here, folks. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Hopefully we see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.